Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making today is a traditional Newfoundland and Labrador peas pudding. Now this peas pudding we usually have during a boiled dinner or, with a Sunday dinner or a jigs dinner. I'm going to show you how to make it two different ways. In a pudding bag, which is a cotton bag, I will demonstrate that for you, and also cooking it in a saucepan. So let's get started. So what I got here is a 450 grams of split peas, and this is a yellow split pea. You can also use the green split peas. I've made both and it's been equally delicious. Here in Newfoundland and Labrador, I think we only get the yellow split peas. So what we're going to do here, we got two different pots. We got one here that got it soaking in a pudding bag, I'll show you that, and I got another one here that's got it soaking in a saucepan, and I'm going to use up this full bag. This is the cotton pudding bag that we use for boiling the split peas in to make a peas pudding, and the string of course. So let me just show you this. So what I did is last night I put a half a bag, 225 grams of split peas into my saucepan and 2 cups of cold water. Let it soak overnight. And then I put the same amount into my cotton bag, tied it up nice, leaving it a little bit loose because you need room for it to expand. And you just put a little knot in it like this. And then what we're going to do is tie this to the boiler to get it cooking. But I'm going to drain this water off here now, pretty much. This is your pudding bag that you would use for boiling in a pudding bag, and this is how you would do in a saucepan. So I'm going to drain this water off, tell you what's next. So for the pudding bag, I got water boiling here onto the side. Now normally what we would do here in Newfoundland and Labrador, we will cook this peas pudding with our jigs dinner or boiled dinner. But today I'm just going to show you this on its own. So I'm going to tie it to the handle. This keeps it from falling to the bottom of the pot. We also, here in Newfoundland and Labrador, we like to put some salt beef in with the peas pudding, or a piece of ham, or just use salt, just sea salt. I'm going to put a piece of ham in with it, this just giving that little flavor. And I'm also still going to put in about a teaspoonful of sea salt. If you were using salt beef, you could just leave the sea salt out. And then I'm going to put the cover just part ways like this. Now over to our saucepan. The water I got drained off. What I did when I put it into the saucepan, I put 2 cups of cold water to start it soaking overnight. You can leave it out on your countertop or you could put it in your fridge. It doesn't matter. Whenever you're ready to use it, drain off the water and then fill it up again with 2 cups of cold water. And you can start it with hot water, but I usually start it with cold just to get it all going. And then I put in about a quarter of a medium onion. That's optional, but it just gives it a beautiful flavor. Again, you could use salt beef here in Newfoundland and Labrador. That's what we would use, and I do have that on Bonita's Kitchen, brining your own salt beef. But I'm putting in a piece of ham because I like picnic ham into my peas pudding as well because it got that beautiful flavor. I'm also going to put in again about a teaspoonful of sea salt to get it started. And now I'm going to put it on a medium heat and I'll tell you a little bit about that.
Just one quick question there.
Okay.
Now, that popped up. So if you're putting in salt, like you said, the sea salt, but if you were using salt beef again, you wouldn't know. No.
You won't use sea salt, only if you're putting in a little piece of ham, and you could leave out the sea salt until it starts to cook, taste it. If it's salty enough for you, that's fine, but I always like to have a little bit to start it with. That's a good question, Raymond. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm also going to use a quarter of a piece of a medium onion. You could use half, you can use a full one. I love onions. I love the flavour of onions on my food. And with this peas pudding, if you were making it with your boiled dinner, and of course I got Jake's dinner on Bonita's Kitchen, I can share that with you up at the top left hand corner or at the bottom of this link for you to see what I'm talking about. I like to put the onion in there for that flavour, and the peas pudding bag is usually in with your cooked meal. But I want to show you today how to do it on its own. You might just want to cook it and have that, and then after you can turn your peas pudding into a peas soup, and I'll share that link with you. But right now we're going to get this starting to boil, and then we'll go from there. So after you've put your split peas into your water, and you got your piece of ham, salt beef, your onion, get this started boiling on a medium heat. Every so often stir it like this and make sure it's that amount of water in it for the first probably 20 minutes to half an hour till it starts to boil. And then only have your cover like this on the pot. Keep checking it. We'll check back here and let you see what it looks like at that stage. So as you're checking your peas pudding, you'll see like it's just going to foam a little bit, and it'll keep foaming up. Take that off, put it into a little bowl off to the side, discard it, you don't need it. Continue stirring like this. You'll see it's starting to cook there now and boil. And now I'm going to show you what the other one looks like. As you can see with the boiling bag, the water is galloping, the onions is even starting to fall apart. The piece of ham is at the bottom and it's coming along nice. It won't foam the same as you're cooking it separate, and you don't need to do anything with it like that. Just every now and then lift it, make sure that there's enough water, and if you need more water, just take it and pour it in just to bring it up enough, because you don't want it to boil dry. And just let it keep cooking like that, and then I'll let you know how long. So 30 minutes into the peas pudding boiling in the saucepan, you see it's starting to break down and cook, and soaking it overnight gives it that better chance to break down quicker because it softens the split peas. So right now you don't need to add no more water. Just remember to keep stirring like this every so often, so it don't burn to the bottom. And on this side of the kitchen, the peas pudding bag is coming along nice. I can feel that the peas are starting to soften in there. I don't need to do anything else with that, only let it cook, and I'll let you know what stage that's at. So 45 minutes into cooking your peas pudding in the saucepan. Cooks a little different in the bag. You don't have to babysit it. Only in the saucepan you do, because you've got to stir it. You don't want it to stick to the bottom. You want to get them to boil off that liquid to make it thick. And in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you what else to do. Okay, so at this stage, as you can see, the peas pudding is starting to get nice and thick. At this point it's almost like lava because it's just popping, and you don't want it to pop on your skin. You be very careful, and you can see that it's starting to get creamy. There's a few full peas, but they're fine and soft. We're going to put about a teaspoonful of butter or margarine and a pinch of black or white pepper, and you're going to mix that in through. Now at this point, really, it's almost at the hour mark. It's done. So what I'm going to do now is show you what the peas pudding looks like in the cotton bag, and I'll show you how to take it out of the bag, how to let the water drain from it so you don't have that extra moisture. So let's take a look at that. So what I'm going to do first is cut the bag away from the saucepan, like such. And I'm going to take it from the saucepan, and I'm going to put it over here with a spoon in under it, just to help take some of that liquid from the bag. And pretty much just get the hair out of it by twisting it around and letting it all release like this. So after you've got all what you can get out of the liquid from the pudding bag, like this, then what we're going to do, we're going to take it out of this bag and put it into the bowl, but discard the liquid into the pot, like that. Now this is really hot. Don't think that I'm like touching it cold. You work really hard to get it out of the bag, but it's less work cooking it because you don't have to stir it, you don't have to do anything babysitting it, just let it boil and make sure it don't boil dry. But in the bag, then it comes out like this. Put this there to be washed. You could reuse those bags. So after then, you're just gonna stir it around like this because you want to, you want to mix it all together again. We're gonna put again a pinch of pepper and about a teaspoonful of butter. Everything butter for me, or margarine if you want to add it in there. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Certainly you don't have to add any salt because you cooked it in sea salt, plus you also add a little bit of either salt beef or the ham. And that's all you need to do there. Okay, so now the one that we did in the saucepan, of course we already added the butter and the pepper. I'm just going to scrape it now into a different bowl. So I'm going to scrape all of this out into the bowl. And of course the big chunk of ham that we cooked with the peas pudding is down into the peas pudding, and we usually fight over that one, me and Raymond, because we usually say, no, that one is mine because it's so nice. I do want to put another little dash of pepper just over the top. Now I'm going to show you how we would serve this, how we would demonstrate this to our table. Over here with our towton, our fried towton, which is in under our white bread. I'm going to share that link with you. We're just going to have a little bit of peas pudding with a towton, sit back and have it for lunch. Over here is our boiled dinner. We also call it our jigs dinner or a Sunday dinner. If you're leaving it like that, would be our jigs dinner. If you pour gravy over it, it's a boiled dinner, or what we would call it here, our Sunday dinner. Now this is how we would serve it, as good as it gets. Of course, me with pepper on both. This is it. Too good to eat.
And me just waiting for a spoonful to test that peas pudding.
I know, right? Yeah. I'm going to pass this over to you, Raymond.
Oh, get there.
You are welcome.
You're too good.
So like I was saying, this is it, as good as it gets. And if you had any questions before of how to make peas pudding, 2 different ways. One in the saucepan, the other one in the pudding bag. This clears it up. In under 1 hour, soaking it overnight, the split peas, you would have your peas pudding, and it's fit for a king or a queen. So as well, I'm going to share all of those links with you. I'm going to share the jigs dinner, how to cook it that way, and with the peas pudding in the bag. I'm going to share with you the towtons. I'm going to share as well all of what we're displaying here today. Plus, you can have pea soup from this, leftover pea soup, and I got that as well on Bonita's Kitchen. I'll share that link with you on the top left hand corner or right there at the bottom. Of course, we got a couple of old sayings here in Newfoundland and Labrador, because peas pudding is a treat for all of us, and there's not many people that don't like it. And like I said, served with towtons, we'll say have a towton or do a towton.
What about the one peas pudding hot, peas pudding cold, peas pudding in the pot 9 days
And
old?
that was the other one I was going to share. Because up to 9 days you can keep this peas pudding in your fridge and turn it into a number of dishes. You could cook it with your leftovers from your jigs dinner and have cuddins. We got that up there, which is a fried ash. Also, like you said, just eating the peas pudding on its own with a piece of ham or salt beef, whichever way you want to cook it. This is it. So if you like this recipe and you want to see more, just visit us on www.bonitaskitchen.com. You can send us a message on our Facebook or right here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Raymond has given me the high over there. Now he wants to get into that nice meal, and of course I want that touting. So we're going to share it up, but from our kitchen to yours. Thank each and every one of you for joining us here today, and you have a wonderful day.
Join us by the sea, our journey in culinary, always an open door. Bonita's kitchen to yours. Bonita's kitchen.